Joe Rogan could hardly believe what he was hearing after the news dropped that Gervonta Tank Davis knocked out a heavyweight in sparring. Rogan described Tank's punch power as something that doesn't even make sense for a guy his size. He loves the way Tank stands right in front of anyone, unleashes a single clean shot, and instantly flips the fight upside down. Rogan says the reason people can never relax when Tank is fighting is because he carries knockout danger in every second of the match. His unpredictability is what makes opponents fear him and fans rush to see him. One punch and everything changes.
Anyone who steps in with him.
Interesting, right? Like, you don't know whether someone's ever going to be able to figure that out or whether or not he's just going to keep cracking people.
Yeah.
You know, so it's part of the fun of watching it. I've talked to a lot of, like, real boxing purists. It's like, you can't rely on that style.
Right.
He's got to be busier. When he gets to the best guys, it's not going to work out. Like, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see, because there's so many good guys.
Inside the gym, Tank is becoming something even more terrifying than the version fans see under the lights. Training partners much bigger than him step in thinking their weight and strength will test him. Instead, they get overwhelmed by lightning-fast shots they never even saw coming. Witnesses insist that Tank's power feels different, like it erupts out of nowhere. Even heavyweights end up backing away, realizing that size means nothing when every punch he throws comes with shock value. Right now, Tank is not training to compete. He is training to dominate. A former sparring partner of Jake Paul came forward with a brutally honest warning. He said that Jake has never felt the kind of force that Tank carries in his hands. Sure, Jake has put away MMA fighters and former champs who were past their best years. Confidence looks great until you stand across from a real knockout artist. This insider claims that when Tank hits, he does more than score a point. He causes damage that changes the fight instantly. He believes Jake is stepping into a level far beyond anything he has survived before. Taking risks is admirable. But Tank Davis represents the moment where risk becomes regret.
Honestly, man, like every single time, people said that Jake would get finished or he would lose a fight, he obviously proved everybody wrong. But I genuinely believe this time, I think that, with Gervonta's boxing IQ and him having Jake come down a little bit in weight, I think Gervonta will beat him, honestly. I think Gervonta will hurt him. I think he'll just use IQ. He'll tire him out a little bit. And, I think he'll land. Gervonta knows how to touch his opponents. But it's interesting because when Floyd fought Logan, the size really, really made a big, impact. And you saw Floyd struggle, against a big, Ohio corn-fed, wrestling strong dude. And, I've sparred Jake and Logan before, and, they train hard.
You're picking Tank by knockout?
Look, I sparred them years ago. They're much better than when I sparred them. They're athletes. They train really hard. I think they work harder than all these pros, to be honest.
For Joe Rogan gives Jake credit for bringing new, young audiences into boxing. He created hype that even promoters struggled to build. The big question is whether that hype can protect him once the bell rings. Jake's strongest wins came against fighters who were retired, switching sports, or nowhere near their prime. Tank is the exact opposite. He is elite, explosive, and sitting at the top of his career. Rogan wonders if Jake is finally stepping into a reality where followers, fame, and cameras cannot absorb punches for him. Courage brought Jake this far. But Tank might be the opponent who reminds him what real boxing feels like.
Guys under 10 fights, like, what if Jake Paul knocks one of them out? Like, what if you get a guy that, like, hasn't been tested and maybe has some promise and maybe gets wrapped up in the hype and maybe gets a little nervous, and this is his first chance at a big show, and Jake Paul can crack.
Yeah.
100%. That knockout of Tyron Woodley is legit as fuck. He can crack.
But Eddie's point in that interview, and I think the point that just about every boxing aficionado would say is that Tyron Woodley is not a boxer.
Showbiz, the adult breaks down the real pressure. Tank faces. Exhibition label or not, humiliation is still on the line. Tank has spent his entire career creating a legacy built on power, pride, and professionalism. To lose against a man who started as a YouTuber would be a headline that never disappears. Critics already twisted the draw with Lamont Roach into noise, and Tank knows doubters love those moments. That's why he is preparing like everything he has ever built is on the line. Because in the public eye, that's exactly the truth. One mistake could haunt him forever. Tank isn't treating Jake like a joke. He is treating him like a threat to his reputation.
You can call it a fake fight, but it has real consequences. Let him get knocked out by Jake. Let him get embarrassed by Jake. He can't come back. He'll be made a mockery of. He done took a knee, grease in the eye, had a draw with Roach, which everybody thinks Roach was robbed, and then made a mockery of by Jake Paul, a YouTuber. Which is why Gervonta Tank Davis is on Demon. See, me being back on my fitness journey, I know how hard that is, especially at his size with how heavy that medicine ball is. Gervonta Tank Davis is going to go hard, pause, on that Jake Paul fight. He has to. While everybody is trying to dismiss that shit, there's a knockout bonus and everything. You got Lamont Roach calling him all these names. Tank Davis shut off his social media. He can't take y'all negativity, making him worse before the fight. He can't allow y'all to be in his head, which that's what y'all want to do. The end of Tank. And I don't. I think boxing is better with Tank involved. I always say that. If there is boxing, boxing is even better when there's more talented and skillful fighters involved.
Bruce Carrington believes these crossover fights are breathing new life into boxing. He says that sometimes traditional matchups fail to grab the world's attention. But mega events like Tank versus Jake pull in millions of new viewers who might never have watched boxing before. Young fans. Social media audiences. New international eyes. These fights don't just entertain. They energize the entire sport. Whether people call it real or not, the outcome remains the same. Boxing stays in the headlines, and excitement spreads to every corner of the game. Carrington sees this as evolution that keeps the sport alive and growing.
Granted, it's entertainment, right? But this what this is, it's sports entertainment. This is what's gonna put butts in the seat, believe it or not. This is what's gonna, bring a lot of money to the sport. Especially, we have like, people trying to say boxing is dead, boxing is dying. But, we have a whole demographic of people that don't even watch boxing, interested in boxing. So I like to look at it that way. Like we're making these fantasy dream matchups come to life with Floyd and Tyson, And to be honest, I'm a little biased because Floyd, he is my favorite fighter of all time. And Tyson, he is a guy that basically like made me fall in love with boxing. And he's like the icon, the myth, the legend for me. So it was like them two fighting. It's like, yo, that's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So and then on top of that, it's an exhibition, bro. It's not something to be taken serious. It's something that is for the people to just enjoy and watch. It's an exhibition. It's not like they making it a sanctioned fight. Now, Jake and Tank, are they making that a sanctioned fight? I think they are.
They're trying to. It's a lot of moving parts right now with that one.
Yeah, so I think that's where certain things become an issue because now you're putting it into a serious space. You know what I'm saying? Which it shouldn't be. It's honestly, if it's sanctioned, how the heck they gonna I don't know, bro. I don't know how the heck they gonna like really pull that off, but I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's kind of certain things you got to question, but at the end of the day, it is putting more eyes on the game. It's keeping the sport alive. And like I feel like Jake, his vision, his views, it's kind of bringing like eye openings. It's kind of opening people's eyes. You know, it's funny because I genuinely don't believe that it started with Jake.